What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. I'm your host with the most, Brandon Goggins. Welcome back to another episode. Hope that everybody's doing well today. I hope that you're staying in high spirits because even though we lost today, there are still a lot of things to keep your head high about. Whether that be regarding the Clippers or whether that be regarding something else in your life. There's always something to be grateful for, even if the Clippers try to ruin your happiness. I'm not even going to sit here and say that I'm severely upset about the loss because Cleveland is a good team. It's just like, dang, man, we could have we could have won this game if we had a different approach to it. It just never felt like we were there. Like it never we would get it closed, then we would lose it, and I don't know, bro. It just didn't seem like our head was all the way in the game. Um Obviously James didn't have the caliber of game that he's been having, especially not like the last game against the Hornets, but I don't expect him to do that every game. But we'll talk more about it. We're going to do our normal format, talking about everything quarter by quarter. 1 second. Allergies, man. I had to sneeze again, but you know how it be. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to talk about it quarter by quarter as we usually do it. Just kind of break everything down, man. And yeah, I mean, we might as well just get straight into it. Starting with obviously the first quarter. Well, first of all, this was the last game of our road trip before we finally head back to Los Angeles. And our starting five consisted of James Harden, Chris Dunn, John Collins, Ivica Zubac, and Kawhi Leonard. Bright spot today. We'll talk about it. But Kawhi is back officially. He's in the lineup, and man, have we missed him. The Cavaliers, they started Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Tyson, DeAndre Hunter, and Evan Mobley. They didn't have Jared Allen, and they also didn't have Lonzo Ball. Plus another few key players for them off the bench. They're beat up just like us, so it was battle of the broken squads essentially. We actually got off to a decent start against them until Kawhi decided to scare the life out of me. He played 1 minute, he scored, and then next thing you know, he's going back to the locker room. And I'm like, excuse me, what's going on? Like, hello? Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? You just got back. Like, what are we doing? But he did eventually come back out, and then he hit his first shot since coming back from the locker room. So I could exhale. I could finally breathe again. But that did scare me. Cavaliers, they play with pace, man, and they were trying to push that. They were trying to push that pace because we are the 29th slowest team in the league as far as pace goes. Obviously speaking, that comes with age. So I felt like to our advantage, we needed to slow it down and try and make them play down to our style, of pace, rather than us being forced to pick up the pace and get sped up playing with them because they can run and jump all day long. We cannot. So we needed to try and slow them down. Unfortunately, that didn't last. But Collins, he had a young moment. He tried to end somebody's literal career, but he ended up missing the dunk. And then Zubac and Tomlin, they were battling for the board, and I think one of them tipped it in by accident. Well, if it was Zoo, it was on purpose. If it was Tomlin, it was on accident. But it was one of those where they're grabbing it and then it falls in. I wasn't mad. We got the point. Zoo was a beast on the boards anyway, especially on the offensive glass. And he had to be because this is a very large Cavs team. Like, they're huge. And they crashed the boards like crazy, even without Jared Allen. Chris Paul, he eventually checked in to a nice ovation from the crowd. And that was very nice. But the Cavs didn't really seem to care about that because they closed the quarter on a 9-0 run to go up 2. And that was not the momentum swing that we needed at all because that was pretty definitive of how the remainder of the game went for us. Starting in that second quarter where we started to notice a shift, Tyrese Proctor was cooking us at the beginning of the second. I was like, what's going on here? 10 points off the bench that early. Um, like he's been in the league for 10 years. I don't even know how the Cavs managed to get him, bro. Like he was, if you paid attention to like any bit of college ball, I mean, he played at Duke, so he was playing with Cooper Flag and Con Knipple, who we clearly know are two top prospects. I don't know if he was like overshadowed by them or what, but he was still hooping at Duke. He's one of my dad's favorite players. How did we let him slip that far? How did he get down there? He was hooping. I don't know, man. But yeah, he was giving us the business to start off, but then Kawhi started locking in. He looked like Kawhi is a pro. He had like this nice pump fake on DeAndre Hunter, got him to bite on it, and he still hit the and one when Hunter tried to recover on the jump shot. It was very, like, it was like, yeah, he's been in the league for over a decade, as you can say about anybody on our team. But no, it was textbook, bro. It was textbook. But outside of Kawhi, we started rushing shots, and then we started turning the ball over as we love to do. And Cleveland was just picking our defense apart. Donovan Mitchell, bro, was cooking everything he saw, bro. Barbecue chicken. Super easy. Super easy. Chris Dunn, he did hit a big, deep three right before the half to cut it to single digits. That, could have given us some momentum. Down 7 sounds a lot better than, down 10, but there was still a lot of work to do, obviously. And in the second half, we immediately let them go back up double digits because that's just how our third quarters are. That's just how we do. We love it like that. We actually tried to, fight back a little bit. We actually got it all the way down to 3 at one point, which I was like, wow. Are we back? Like, are we actually about to make something shake here? No. Why did I even get my hopes up for that? Why would I even think that? James Harden, man, he couldn't buy a 3 tonight. He went 0 for 8, and I can't even blame him. He used all the juice that he could in yesterday's game in Charlotte. Sucked up all his powers, man. Meanwhile, they, kept on hitting threes. DeAndre Hunter out here hitting contested threes that shouldn't have even been falling. But of course they were, because why wouldn't they? Every time we cut it close, the Cavs would just extend their lead and go on their own run. Donovan Mitchell was in full superstar mode. He had 30 after the third. Ended up with 37, I believe. At the end of the game, and he looked completely unbothered doing it. Like, he didn't even look tired for real. I was like, bro, like, what are we letting this dude do, bro? Like, what are we doing? Then in the fourth quarter, they opened up on a massive 22-3 run that carried over from the third quarter. And next thing you know, we were down 18 before we could even blink. I looked away for like what felt like 1 second because I was on the clock today. And I look up and we're getting our ass beat. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So much for a comeback. That's not coming. That's not going to happen. Although there was still time to, we were down 12 with 8 minutes left, which is very feasible. I mean, especially in today's NBA, that's 4 stops and 4 threes. Boom, it's a tie game. But you have to get stops and you have to score. We didn't either. So there was no comeback to be had, bro. There was one possession where I think they dead ass got 3 offensive rebounds back to back to back. They're bound to score on one of them, bro. And that was kind of the story of the whole night, man. Zoo was the only one that was getting boards. They killed us on offensive glass. Kawhi still being on, a little bit of minute restriction. We were going on this run in the fourth quarter without him mostly. So we didn't have him. Zubats was, trying his best to do his thing, man. He was phenomenal. He had 33 points, 17 rebounds. Or did he have 9? I think he had 19 rebounds, actually. Did he? I'm pretty sure. I want to say he had 19 rebounds, not 17. This might have been like while I was in the moment, but regardless, he had a monster game, bro. Masterclass from Zubats, bro. He doing what he can, man. Battling this big Cleveland lineup. Nobody really helping him for real down there. Feel bad for him, man. He be exerting a whole lot of energy. I hope that he is okay and getting the proper rest he needs. But Donovan Mitchell was just out there having fun at our expense, bro. He just made us look very silly, played us like a video game. And we waved the white flag around the 2:30 mark and ended with a 15-point loss, 120-105. And that was the story of the game, man. We just ran out of gas, bro. Cleveland's pace was unfortunately just too much for us to handle. I don't think that, like I said at the beginning, like, this was a very winnable game if we had played our cards right, but unfortunately we didn't. We folded. I don't know, man. Like I said, there were so many times where we brought the lead. Like, we got it to within 3, yo. Like, why couldn't we capitalize on that? Like, if we're so close, don't even blue ball me like that, bro. Like, if we get it to that point, y'all need to make an effort to, like, take the lead back. Don't get it close if you ain't gonna do something with it. You get what I'm saying? Like, what's the point in that? What's the point? Obviously, that's good on Cleveland's part, recognizing that we are on a run and we bring it to within it. Kenny Atkinson's a great coach. He's a great coach, and he knows when to stop runs. He knows how to slow down momentum. That's what he did repetitively. And we couldn't find a way to overcome that, bro. Like, we need to stop letting people decide when we don't have any gas anymore. Like, are we some hoes? Straight like that. Like, that's what it's feeling like. Like, we just some punks. You guys are going on a little bit of a run here. I don't really like that too much. Timeout. Come out the timeout. 20-5 run. Straight up. I don't know, man. Bright spot tonight was that Kawhi was back. It was always good to see him on the floor. He had 20 points in 26 minutes. I feel like that's respectable for a first game against a team that's this solid, especially coming back from injury. Obviously, I said it, Zubats was a monster. He was doing his thing the whole night. Harden had 19, 6, and 2. And even though he struggled from 3, he gets a pass from me, bro. He gets a pass. Like, he literally dropped over half of 100 points, not even 24 hours before the game. Like, you can't fault him too much for that, bro. He can only do so much. But outside of those 3, it was a pretty mid effort from everybody else. And that's going to need to be fixed because we head back to Los Angeles next. Not for a home game, though. We play the Lakers, and they are currently on a 4-game win streak, and they have LeBron back now. So we can't take them lightly at all. So this is a chance for us to go in, take over the city, make a statement, in their streak, clip gang or don't bang, head back to Intuit Dome, and get back into our winning ways. That's all that's going to be for this episode, though. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about, how we matched up against Cleveland? How do you feel about Kawhi being back? How do you think he looked? And what are your expectations for the Lakers game? I probably will not see you guys until then, so hopefully we're in a good mood, but if not, I'm not going to have a polo on. But anyways, I'm going to get on up out of here, y'all. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy and always keep it capital peasy. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Clip gang or don't bang. Y'all be smooth and take it easy. Peace.